Hi, and welcome to Business as Usual. Today we'll be looking at the Raynham Food Pantry and America's Best Defense in Raynham. But first, let's go to the Raynham Food Pantry.
I'm Debbie Vandermeer, and I'm the director of the Raynham Food Basket, and I've been doing this for about 3 years. The pantry's been running for 20 years as of last August, and we have about 20 volunteers. We have distributions twice a month, the second and fourth Thursday of each month, and we pick up our food from Boston the first and third Wednesday of each month. I go online the week before, and I have 4 days to go on and shop. And whatever is available, I can choose from, whatever we maybe are in need of. The inventory changes, it changes all the time. So once my order is complete, I have a cutoff of Friday, and then they put our order together, and the following Wednesday, all our volunteers with pickup trucks go over to the Taunton to Rich's Transportation, and they load up our order, and they bring it here, and we put it away. Boston runs like clockwork. It is an amazing organization. I can't say enough about it. There's so much help. You have a problem, you call them. They're right there for you. It's just, it makes running a pantry so much easier, is working with a group like Boston. So everything runs pretty well. We have enough trucks and enough guys to help, thank God. So that part of it runs pretty smoothly. Everyone who comes in is going to get 3 brown paper bags. One of them is filled with miscellaneous items like peanut butter and dressing. We have raisins this week, some tortilla chips, as well as some soap. And the other 2 bags have kind of staples in it. The cereals, the canned goods, pastas, fruit, and things like that, vegetables, soups, macaroni and cheese. So they'll get 2 bags of the staples and then the bag of the miscellaneous, whatever we happen to have available that week.
We also make up separate individual bags for families that have children, and those usually consist of, juice boxes for the children so that no children are left behind as far as in school and things like that. They have snack time. We also make sure that they always have cereal in their bags. There's extras as far as, we get them the fun stuff, the things that the kids like, the SpaghettiOs, the raviolis. We always have, pancake and syrup mix. We make sure that the bags also have plenty of snacks that the children like, as far as, Cheez-Its. Those things vary as far as what they allow is at the distribution and what we pick up and purchase when we receive funding as far as people that donate to the Raynham Food Pantry. And we watch the sales, and we'll go out and grab the cereals that are on sale so that we can get them in bulk for the children. We have also offer many things for the kids as far as cookies. These come in, so it's a variety of things that the kids would basically like. And a lot of these things come from the Boston Food Bank, but a lot come in from the Raynham drives that the schools do, the Merrill, the La Liberty, the middle school. People drop off at the Raynham Public Library. There's many drop-off spots and fundraising that the community does. And we also get things in from other donations as far as that goes.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to give out our Easter hams tomorrow. We also have some more pastries that need to be refrigerated. We have yogurt that we're going to give out, as well as Pillsbury crescent rolls. So they'll get this, and they'll also get a package of frozen fish. They'll get some flash frozen meat from Shaw's, which we can get, anything from steaks to burger to lamb chops. It's wonderful meat we get from Boston. They'll get a dozen eggs and a roll of ground turkey. So that will be their frozen and refrigerated bag. So that'll go along with the dry goods. Plus they'll get their bread. And this week we actually have fresh loose green beans that we can put outside that they can put in bags, and pears too that they can they can pick from outside as well. So they'll be leaving with a really good order tomorrow. Before we open on a Thursday, St. Vincent de Paul comes in and delivers bread. So they get some of it from supermarkets and whatnot, but this is how we have loaves of nice bread to give out to people when we're open. They also deliver a lot of like cakes and pastries and things like that. So those are extras that we can give out. If we have a large cake, we'll give it to a family that can use it. This is a load of pastries that we got today earlier from Arts Bakery, and they're kind enough to donate their pastries right before we'll open on a Thursday. So we go down every other Wednesday and we pick up a load of pastries from them as well, which is nice. And a lot of times we have enough that people can kind of they can pick and choose and take what they like. This week, as well as some past weeks, we've also had a huge load of beautiful homemade bread that was made by the kids at the Raynham Middle School. They did a bread baking life skills thing run by King Arthur. And so we froze those, so we're still giving those out now, but that was great. Loaves and loaves of homemade bread, white bread. Everybody's been really happy with that. We get a large bulk of our food from Boston, which we either get for free or at an incredibly discounted price. We also get donations in from private companies and different organizations in the town. Some people choose to give us food donations, some like to give us monetary donations. Either way, it all goes strictly to buying food at the best price that I can get it, whether it's a sale at a supermarket or it's through Boston. We had the Spirit of Giving this year during Christmas time, which Shaw's in Raynham did. People could buy pre-made $5, $10, or $15 bags of food, and we ended up getting thousands of pounds of food from Shaw's this year, which worked out quite well. Today we just purchased and brought in our Easter hams. We got about 60 of those, and we were able to get them at Market Basket for a really good price because some generous people had donated Market Basket gift cards to the pantry around Christmas time. So that helped us buy our hams for next to nothing. So everything gets used, and we're careful with the prices that we spend, and it works out well.
Now let's go to America's Best Defense in Raynham.
My name is Ernie Tiviage. I'm the head instructor and owner of America's Best Defense in Raynham. I've been training in the martial arts since I was 4 years old, so I've been training in the martial arts now for about 31 years. We currently have a school of a little over 300 students, teaching children to adults, anywhere between the ages of 3 to whatever age they want to train. Starting myself, like I said, I started training when I was 4 years old. Both my parents were black belts and owned the dojo in Rhode Island, so I kind of came up, in the martial arts. Pretty much, if I wasn't at school, I was at the dojo, was training, competing. Started competing in tournaments at a young age of about 6 years old. Got heavily involved in the tournament circuit for a while. Did some training and some competing over in Korea in the year 2000. And really fell in love with the idea of teaching martial arts probably when I was a teenager. Really fell in love with this, started teaching full-time for my parents. And then as I got older, I started to run their school for them. Eventually hit that time where I wanted to kind of, open up my own school, do my own thing. So in 2005, I opened up my first school in Raynham, a small school, maybe about 1,200 square feet in Raynham. And that was, like I said, February 2005. And within about 8 months, we outgrew that school and we moved to our second location. Spent about, I would say, maybe 4 or 5 years at that location, and eventually outgrew that school. And now we're here. This school, like I said, we teach students anywhere between the ages of 3 to however old they want to train. The programs that we teach, we have a 3 and 4-year-old program, that's for Tiny Tigers. We also have 5 through 7s, or we call our Little Dragons program. And then 8 to about 12 is our Karate Kids program. Then we have a teenage program, which is a teen MMA or a teen mixed martial art program, which is a combination of like Muay Thai, kickboxing, and jiu-jitsu. And then we have our adult program. Our adult program is a mixture of Muay Thai kickboxing and Krav Maga self-defense. Krav Maga is an Israeli-based self-defense system. It's not really a martial art. It's more of a hand-to-hand combat system used for their military, and quickly became popular here in the U.S. for our military, for our police academies, law enforcement, things like that. So it's a great way for civilians to learn self-protection and get in great shape. For our kids program, mostly for our Little Dragons and our Karate Kids, it's an American Kempo that they're learning for self-defense skills, and also in a universal curriculum. The universal curriculum, or pretty much our kids program, is one of the only programs in this area that was developed by not only a master instructor, but also a child psychologist. So where many schools, they took their adult curriculum to water it down, make it teachable for kids, we have a very child-specific curriculum for our kids program. So the kids are learning things that, one, they're interested in learning, and number two, it also teaches the kids the things that they need for their age bracket: balance, coordination, things like that, control of their body, things like that. And I think one of the unique things about our kids program is not only the physical skills that we teach them, but also the monthly messages that we do. In the middle of each class, we have kind of like what we call a Miyagi moment, from the Karate Kid, where we're teaching some form of a life lesson by way of a fun story most of the time. So it's not like lecture time. The kids are really, engrossed in the story. They get into it. They want to hear the story. And each story always has two important points. And the first is how that story can make them become a better black belt, because that's what they're most interested in. They teach me how to be a black belt someday. So we'll have some form of a theme about self-discipline, respect for others, self-control, something, and we first direct it towards how they can be a better black belt. And then later on in the week, we also tie it into how they can use it to be a better student in school or just be a better child around the house. Parents really, really love it because it's exactly what they want for the kids. The kids want fun, exciting martial arts and becoming a black belt. Parents want that too, but they also want confidence for the child, respect, discipline, things that are going to help them be successful outside in the real world also. And I think we have a good combination of doing that for the kids here. Our adult program is, again, mixed of Muay Thai kickboxing. Muay Thai kickboxing is basically striking not just with your hands and with your feet. It's a full body workout, so you're learning to strike with your hands, your feet, your elbows, your knees. So number one, it's great for the student that just is really here for fitness. They want to get in great shape, and Muay Thai will get people in great shape. Again, it's a full body workout. You're learning how to strike with your whole body. We also teach them Krav Maga, which is an Israeli-based self-defense hand-to-hand combat system. Used obviously for the Israeli military, became very popular here in the U.S. A few years ago, and now it's used for our military. It's used for many law enforcement, and civilians love it because it's easy to learn. Unlike sometimes traditional martial arts, it takes years of practice. Krav Maga is designed for, like I said, the military. Their boot camp was, let's say, 6 to 8 weeks long. They had to learn it quickly and then apply it to their, combat. Same thing. Civilians want something that's quick, it's easy to learn, and highly effective in the streets. And that's exactly what Krav Maga is. It's easy to learn, highly effective for the streets. And again, the Muay Thai complements the Krav Maga very, very well, to where a lot of the striking you're learning in the Muay Thai, it's also used in Krav Maga. So again, it's a great combination, a great balance of two systems, two styles, for anyone who either wants to get in great shape or wants to learn self-protection. It does both of those things. We have 2 full-time staff members besides myself. We have Ms. Alex Bresnahan. She's a full-time staff member. She pretty much is my main instructor on the floor besides myself. She helps teach all the classes, anywhere from the Little Dragons classes all the way up to the adult classes. She also heads our demo team, our SWAT team, which is like our demo team. So she helps out. She's kind of like a floor instructor. She assists me in all the floor classes. Then we also have another full-time staff member, and that is Miss Megan. She's what we call our program director. Basically, her job, anyone that comes in as a brand new student, before they come on the mats to train in the group environment, they always see Miss Megan first. This is another unique aspect of our dojo. Before a student gets on the floor, they get depending upon their age, anywhere between 1 to 2 private lessons with Miss Megan first. This is great, so that way, number one, the student, no matter what the age is a little more prepared for when they come on the floor as far as what to expect. Some of the basic moves, combinations, techniques, what to expect. So that way the student is not coming on the floor, not knowing what's going on, kind of has that little uncomfortable feeling. They're prepped from Miss Megan a little bit more in advance. Also, what we really like about the private lessons is that, especially for kids, the parents get an opportunity to see exactly what our program's all about, how well our instructors work with kids, and how the martial arts can be used as a vehicle to get them goals that they want for their child other than just kicking and punching. More confidence, higher self-esteem, better focus. They'll start to see some of that already within the first 2 private lessons. So that's pretty much Miss Megan's job. If someone's coming in for their first class, first thing they would notice when they open the front doors, Miss Megan will be waiting for them, meeting and greeting right at the front door. Just so that way they have that friendly face, greeting them, without the awkwardness of, I'm here for my first class, where do I go? Ms. Megan greets them right at the front door. At that point, she'll direct them to where we take our, where to hang up our jackets, put their shoes, that kind of thing. And before they even get started with their own first class, Miss Megan takes them on a tour of the whole facility. So that way they know right off the bat where everything is, and it kind of creates just more of a comfortable atmosphere. They know exactly who's behind the front counter, so if they have any questions on any other day, they know who to see. They know where the spectator area is, so that way, especially for parents, we encourage them to watch the classes so they can see and hear what's being taught. So she shows them the spectator area, where they would line up for class, restrooms, and anything else they need to know. Miss Megan takes them on a tour. After that, they go right into the private lesson room where they'll take their first private lesson. At that point, again, like I said, it's a one-on-one private lesson. They'll tell Miss Megan a little bit about their goals. She teaches them their first class, and she immediately sets some goals for them for the next class, again, depending upon their age. She'll explain how they can earn their white belt. All of our belts are earned, including the white belt. So she'll explain to the child, if it's a child, how they're going to earn their first belt, which can be earned by the second class. They get a little bit of karate homework. They go home, they practice, do their karate homework, come back, take their white belt quiz, and then, of course, once they earn their white belt, we celebrate, take their picture, all that kind of good stuff. Then she'll kind of show them the class that's training at the current time. So when they come out of the private lesson room, certain class is going to be on the mats. A regular class format usually goes as follows. Everyone starts off, they bow in, and we recite our student creed. The student creed's kind of like promises that the students are making at the beginning of every class. Again, sets the tone of what the black belt philosophy is. So we say our student creed, then we get right into our warm-ups. The warm-ups are usually what we call like a drill for skill. We're doing certain drills to improve the students' skills. Okay, and those are usually theme-based. After that, the student may see the 5-minute monthly message, where we're talking about some sort of a message that's going to help improve their training, as well as improve the quality outside of the dojo. After the monthly message, we get right to their curriculum training, whatever they are working on that particular month for belt testing. And then that's it. We wrap up the class, and that's it. I would say, as far as the things that make us unique, one of the first things that pops in my mind is the rapport or the relationship that we try to build with the students immediately right from their first class, their private lesson. Even though we're a large school, we do take a lot of pride in the fact that we have close relationships with our students. Just by way of, for example, after a student takes their first couple classes, one of the instructors will always contact that individual to find out how they enjoyed the first class, get a little feedback, coach them on, with the idea of, look, no matter what age, there's that, first couple class, awkwardness where, sometimes a student, even as a child or adult, they tend to be a little overcritical of themselves and maybe thinking, geez, I'm maybe not doing things as quickly or as good as other students. So we like to coach them on. We teach them right away to be a good finder and always, try to look for the positive things or improvements they're making from class to class. And we start, just a one-on-one talk just after the first couple classes, coaching them on with that kind of stuff. After about 3 months of their training, we sit down, we have another talk or a meeting just talking about some of the goals they set when they first joined. When they first see Miss Megan, one of the things that they do is that they fill out some of the goals that they have for themselves, whether if it's confidence, more discipline, fitness, self-defense. And when they do that, we like to make sure that those goals aren't forgotten about. So about 3 months after they join, we sit down and we talk about the goals that they set. We want to find out, how are they doing with their goals? Are they on the right track? If there's anything more that we can do to help them reach their goals a little more aggressively. So we do have different points of contact, with the student. It could be something as simple as just a good job, phone call. If we notice someone's doing a great job in class, we'll give them a phone call and tell them, hey, we're really impressed in the job you did in class. Keep up the great work. So I think a lot of those little things, those points of contact, really builds a strong relationship between the instructors and the students. So even though we're a large school, the students still feel as though it's that tight-knit family. Another thing, again, that makes the school unique is the fact that we're a black belt school, and not every school is a black belt school. When we say we're a black belt school, it doesn't mean that, well, we have a black belt. Our goal is for our students to reach black belt. It means that, again, no matter what age, we're going to teach the physical skills and techniques to become a black belt, but we're also going to teach the black belt philosophy. So even with the adults, I know I explained it with the kids, but it's the same for the adults also. Now, it's not story time like we do for the kids, but I still share things with the adults that's my black belt philosophy, the philosophy of being a black belt, things that help me be successful inside the dojo and outside the dojo. And I just share it with my adults, different aspects of discipline in their training, or just having more of a positive mental attitude. Just the whole culture of the martial arts, I think we really capture it. So even though martial arts has really evolved over hundreds and thousands of years, we still try to capture the roots and the traditional aspects of the martial arts. And I think that not only do parents love to hear that for the kids, but my adult students also love to hear that for themselves. They see this as a unique place, and it captures something different, very different than sometimes what's outside these walls, and they really like it, and they like the idea of the philosophy of living like a black belt. One thing that we do hear a lot here at our dojo, and of course it pleases me to hear this, is that whether it's parents or my adult students themselves telling me that this place is so much more than they expected when they joined. Most of the time, for a child, sometimes it's usually the child, sometimes tugging at mom or dad's sleeve, I want to take karate, I want to take karate. And at that point, sometimes maybe mom and dad's thinking, all right, well, let's have them try it out, be at least some good exercise for them, and maybe they can learn some self-defense skills. But when they get here, they find out, it's so much more than they expected. It's not just the idea of karate is just going to teach their kids just kicking and punching, or the fear of that martial arts may make them more violent or something like that. From the parents, again, they say it because it's so much more than they expect because of all the life lessons that it ties in, and how much really the martial arts can really make an impact on how well they listen and focus in school. Many parents are really excited because their child's grades have improved just by the training in martial arts. For my adults, same thing. Many times the adults, they come in and they're like, I'm not interested in being a black belt. I just want to get in better shape. I just want to learn some basic self-defense skills. And after a couple months of training, they've really kind of caught the bug, or the idea of the black belt philosophy. And then again, they say the same thing, like, this is so much more than I expected. I love it, and I want to train long term. Someday I hope to be one of the black belts here. So something, a common phrase we hear from all of our students, or many of our students I should say, that the program we offer here is so much more than what they expected coming into it. And they're excited about it. We are located 600 South Street West in Raynham, Massachusetts. You can contact us either by phone, 508-828-9797, or even go on our website. It's abdraynham.com.